Introduction to the world of immortal engines. What if I told you there is an engine that survived over 1.2 million miles and still runs like the day it rolled off the production line? Sounds impossible, right? Well, there is a Toyota 22R engine in Alaska that has been running nonstop since 1985 with its original internals completely intact. That is equivalent to driving around the Earth's equator 48 times. Today, we are counting down 12 power plants that were engineered to outlast entire civilizations. And stick around because number one will absolutely blow your mind. This mechanical beast is literally unstoppable. Top 1 Ford 300 inline-six, 1965 to 1996. Ford's 300 cubic inch straight six was the automotive equivalent of that dependable friend who shows up early, works harder than everyone else, and never asks for credit. While other manufacturers were chasing horsepower headlines, Ford quietly assembled a mechanical masterpiece that could outlast several economic recessions without missing a beat. The 300 i6 was a testament to understated engineering excellence, so smooth and bulletproof that Ford engineers probably wondered why they made it look so easy. This motor was basically industrial equipment disguised as automotive technology, designed to run forever on nothing but regular gasoline and occasional oil changes. You discover this immortal power plant in Ford F-150s, F-250s, Econoline vans, and even some Broncos. The 7 main bearing designs supported a crankshaft that could probably double as a bridge girder. UPS delivery trucks, moving vans, and construction vehicles relied on this engine because it could idle all day, haul heavy loads, and still start reliably after sitting in Arctic conditions overnight. There is a legendary story about a 1978 Ford F-150 with the 300 i6 that served as a ranch truck in Montana, hitting 387,000 miles of hauling hay and pulling trailers before the owner's grandson inherited it. The cooling system was designed for extended idle times, and the electrical requirements were so minimal that you could practically run it with a car battery from 1975. Top 2 Chrysler Slant 6 225, 1960 to 1987. In 1960, Chrysler engineers apparently said, "Let's build an engine that is more reliable than sunrise and tougher than a Montana winter." The Slant 6 was not just built to last. It was engineered to outlive your mortgage, your kids' college years, and possibly several presidential administrations. The engine's design philosophy was beautifully straightforward. Tilt everything 30 degrees to the right, make it 5 times stronger than necessary, then add more cast iron just because you can. The 225 cubic inch version was so ridiculously overbuilt that Chrysler engineers tested them by running them completely dry of oil until they seized, then redesigned them to survive even longer. You would find this mechanical immortal in Plymouth Valiants, Dodge Darts, Aspen, Velar, and even some trucks. The cast iron block was thicker than a bank vault, and the crankshaft was forged from steel that could probably support a small building. Police departments loved it because you could idle it for 12 hours straight during stakeouts, then immediately chase bank robbers without missing a beat. There is an amazing story about a 1973 Plymouth Valiant in rural Nebraska that served as the town's only taxi for 2 decades, accumulating over 520,000 miles on its original Slant 6 without major rebuilds. The genius was in the simplicity, a single-barrel carburetor so straightforward that farmers could rebuild it with basic hand tools. Top 3 Buick 3.8 LV6 Series 2, 1986 to 2009. The Buick 3.8 LV6 Series 2 was not just an engine, it was an American engineering declaration written in cast iron and determination. When General Motors engineers designed this powerhouse, they apparently forgot they were building a mainstream family motor and instead created something that could survive nuclear winter while delivering silk-smooth power. Born from GM's decades of V6 experience, the Series 2 inherited every lesson learned from previous failures. The supercharged versions were so ridiculously overbuilt that mechanics would joke about needing archaeological tools to find worn parts. These beasts regularly conquered 280,000 miles, while their owners barely remembered maintenance schedules existed. You would find this legendary power plant in Buick LeSabre, Pontiac Grand Prix, Bonneville, and Oldsmobile 88 models. The cast iron block was so well designed that it became the foundation for everything from grocery getter sedans, to supercharged performance applications. Consumer Reports consistently rated 3,800 powered vehicles as among the most reliable cars ever tested. There is a documented case of a 1995 Buick LeSabre taxi in Chicago that hit 463,000 miles on its original engine before retirement. The cooling system could handle extended idle times. The fuel system was bulletproof, and the ignition system was so simple that parts store clerks could diagnose problems over the phone. Top 4 BMW M20 inline-six, 1977 to 1993. BMW in the late 1970s looked at other manufacturers cutting corners and said, "Hold our German beer." The M20 redefined what built to last meant in the luxury car world. This engine was so legendarily smooth and durable that BMW enthusiasts would joke about needing to replace their entire cars before their engines showed any signs of fatigue. The secret was BMW's philosophy of qualitat. Quality elevated to almost religious levels. Every potential weakness discovered during testing resulted in a complete component redesign. The single overhead cam design was elegant, but every component was engineered to tolerances that would make Swiss clockmakers weep with admiration. You would find the M20 powering BMW 3 Series E30, 5 Series E28, E34, and select 6 Series models. The aluminum head paired with cast iron block created the perfect balance of strength and heat dissipation. The fuel injection system was Bosch Matronic, sophisticated for its time, but reliable enough for German Autobahn abuse. There is a well-documented case of a 1987 BMW 325i owned by a traveling salesman in Germany who put over 480,000 miles on his M20 engine while driving across Europe, with the engine actually becoming smoother with age. The timing chain system was bulletproof, and the cooling system was designed to handle sustained high-speed cruising that would stress other engines. Top 5 Jeep 4.0L inline-six, 1986 to 2006. Jeep's 4.0L inline-six was the automotive equivalent of a honey badger wearing steel-toed boots. When AMC engineers designed this mechanical beast, they apparently asked themselves, what if we built an engine that could survive being driven through the gates of hell while towing a boat? The 4.0L was not just an engine. It was a mobile fortress designed to withstand abuse that would make other power plants wave white flags. The engine construction was beautifully simple, yet incredibly robust. Cast iron block, aluminum head, and internal components designed for heavy-duty commercial applications. You would find this immortal power plant in Jeep Cherokees, Grand Cherokees, Wranglers, and Comanche pickups. The inline-six configuration provided perfect primary and secondary balance, while the over-square bore and stroke delivered excellent torquey characteristics for off-road applications. The multi-port fuel injection was simple enough to be reliable, but sophisticated enough for decent fuel economy. There is a famous story about a Cherokee XJ owned by a Colorado Park Ranger who put over 420,000 miles on his 4.0L engine while patrolling mountain trails and fording streams. When Jeep discontinued this engine in 2006, off-road fanatics literally hoarded them like precious metals. The U.S. Postal Service bought thousands for rural mail delivery because they needed something that would not die. Top 6 Volvo B230F, 1985 to 1998. Volvo's B230F 4-cylinder was Swedish engineering applied to the simple goal of never ever stopping under any circumstances imaginable. This was not flashy or sophisticated. It was something far more valuable. Absolutely dependable transportation that measured service life in decades rather than warranty periods. The 2.3L naturally aspirated and turbocharged versions powered Volvo 240s, 740s, and 940s, with the kind of reliability that made other manufacturers question their entire engineering philosophy. The cast iron construction was thick enough to stop small projectiles, while the cooling systems were designed to handle everything from Arctic winters to desert summers. You would find this legendary power plant in Volvo 240, 740, 760, 940, and 960 models. The single overhead cam design was elegant in its simplicity, while the Bosch LH Getronic fuel injection provided excellent drivability and fuel economy. The timing belt system required regular maintenance, but was nearly bulletproof when properly serviced. Volvo lost significant money on development costs because they absolutely refused to compromise on quality or durability. The result was an engine that owners joked about outlasting their actual cars, and many owners actually experienced exactly that scenario. These engines earned legendary status among people who measured automotive relationships in geological timescales rather than typical lease agreements. Top 7 Honda B-Series VTEC, 1989 to 2001. When Honda engineers designed the B-Series VTEC engines, they apparently decided that compromise was for weaklings, and mediocrity was their sworn enemy. The B16, B18, and B20 were not just engines. They were precision instruments disguised as everyday automotive power plants that could rev to 8,000 RPM for years without complaint. The VTEC system was not a clever marketing gimmick. It was revolutionary technology that allowed these engines to be both fuel-efficient daily drivers and screaming performance machines. What made the B-Series truly special was its glorious ability to absorb punishment with no exotic materials or complicated systems waiting to fail. You would find these legendary power plants in Honda Civic Si, Integra GSR, Type R models, and CRX variants. The aluminum block construction saved weight while providing excellent heat dissipation. And the DOHC VTEC valve train was engineered to function flawlessly for hundreds of thousands of cycles. The closed deck block design provided incredible strength for both stock and modified applications. There is an incredible story about a 1992 Honda Civic Si in California whose college student owner drove over 340,000 miles while treating the engine like a race car. Yet the B16 never required major repairs. These engines created their own tuning culture, where enthusiasts discovered they could make 400-plus horsepower with basic modifications while the engine just kept running. Top E8 Cummins 5.9 L12 valve, 1989 to 1998. The Cummins 5.9 L12 valve diesel was not just built to last forever. It was engineered for commercial applications where failure meant bankruptcy, then accidentally put into pickup trucks where it became automotive immortality. This engine was rated for 1 million miles in commercial applications, and in pickup trucks, carrying lighter loads, it was basically just getting warmed up at 300,000 miles. The first-generation Cummins was mechanically perfect in its simplicity. The Bosch P7100 injection pump was purely mechanical. No computers, no emissions equipment to fail, just pure mechanical injection timed with Swiss precision. This engine could run on anything from diesel fuel to filtered cooking oil, and it would just keep making torque. Found exclusively in Dodge Ram pickup trucks from 1989 to 1998, these engines created their own economy. People would buy rusted-out Rams just for the Cummins engine, then swap it into newer trucks when those power plants failed. The 12-valve was so valuable that trucks with blown transmissions still sold for serious money. The real magic was in the conservative design philosophy. Every component was engineered for twice the stress it would actually encounter. The cast iron block could handle power levels that would destroy other engines. The fuel system was agricultural-grade simple, and the cooling system was designed for extended towing in desert conditions. There are documented cases of 12-valve Cummins engines hitting 700,000-plus miles on original internals. Top 9 Mercedes-Benz OM6 117 diesel, 1974 to 1991. In 1974, Mercedes-Benz engineers apparently said, "Let's build a diesel engine that is more reliable than gravity and more durable than the pyramids." The OM6 117 was not just built to last. It was engineered to outlive several ice ages while delivering the reliability of German precision manufacturing. The OM617 is considered a key factor in Mercedes' reputation for reliability in the US in the 1980s, representing Mercedes' golden era of engineering when longevity was a key design goal rather than an afterthought. The 3.0L 5-cylinder diesel was available in both naturally aspirated and turbocharged versions, both essentially immortal. You would find this legendary power plant in Mercedes 240D, 300D, 300CD, 300TD, and 300SD models. The cast iron construction was so robust that mechanics joked about needing explosives to crack one, and the Bosch fuel injection system was precision engineered for decades of reliable service. Many of these engines have exceeded 1 million miles, continuing the reputation of reliability forged by German engineering excellence. The OM617's design philosophy was beautifully German. Make everything 5 times stronger than necessary, then add more steel just because perfection demands it. The result was a diesel engine that could run on anything from diesel fuel to filtered cooking oil while delivering the reliability of a Swiss timepiece. There are documented cases of OM 617 engines in Moroccan taxis hitting 600,000 plus miles while still purring like mechanical aristocrats. Top 10 Toyota 1UZF-E, 1989 to 2006. Toyota's 1UZF-E redefined what a luxury V8 could accomplish when Japanese precision engineering met essentially unlimited development budgets. This was not just smooth, it was mechanical silk that happened to possess the durability of bridge construction while delivering performance that embarrassed engines costing twice as much. The all-aluminum construction delivered impressive performance while treating 200,000 plus miles like an extended warranty period that barely scratched the surface. The secret was Toyota's Takumi philosophy. Master craftsmanship applied religiously to every single bolt, bearing, and component throughout the entire power plant. You would find this legendary power plant in Lexus LS400, LS430, SC400, and SC430 models. The 4.0L DOHC V8 featured individual throttle bodies, sophisticated engine management, and build quality that set new standards for luxury car reliability. These engines were so incredibly smooth that you could balance coins on the valve covers at idle. These engines were so reliable that mechanics sometimes forgot they existed, with many examples still running strong after 300,000 plus miles of luxury car duty. Aftermarket tuners discovered these engines could handle massive power increases while maintaining their famous reliability with 800 plus horsepower builds still running strong after decades of abuse. The 1UZ became the LS swap before LS swaps were cool. Top 11 Toyota 2JZ GTE 1991 to 2002. The 2JZ GTE was not just an engine, it was accidentally one of the greatest performance power plants ever created. While Toyota was simply trying to build a reliable luxury car motor, this twin-turbo inline-six redefined what bulletproof meant in automotive engineering terms, when unlimited budgets met obsessive Japanese attention to detail. The cast iron block was so massively overbuilt that it could survive 1,000 plus horsepower without any internal strengthening whatsoever. The closed deck design and deep skirt construction made it stronger than engines designed specifically for professional racing applications. Toyota lost enormous amounts of money on every 2JZ because the engineering costs were economically insane. You would find this legendary power plant in Toyota Supras, Aristo models, and Lexus GS models. The twin-turbo setup produced 320 horsepower in stock form, but the engine's true genius lay in its ability to handle double that power with simple bolt-on modifications. The sequential twin-turbo system eliminated lag, while the iron block handled whatever power levels owners desired. Supra turbos became legendary not just for their impressive stock performance, but for their ability to make 800 plus horsepower with basic modifications while still starting every morning. These engines created their own religion among enthusiasts, with clean 2JZ GTEs today worth more than entire cars. When the apocalypse comes, there will be cockroaches in 2JZ engines still making boost. Top 12 Toyota 22R, 22RE, 1981 to 1995. Crowning our list is Toyota's legendary 22R series, the engine that literally redefined automotive immortality and earned the nickname 1 million mile engine through sheer mechanical excellence. The Toyota 22R and its fuel-injected sibling, the 22RE, are widely considered some of the most reliable four-cylinder engines ever produced and arguably the most legendary four-cylinder engine Toyota ever made. This was not just built to last. It was engineered to outlive civilizations while powering trucks through conditions that would make military vehicles surrender in defeat. Like many of Toyota's four-cylinder engines, the R family, and the 22 especially, managed to deliver long-term reliability thanks to a simple build and manageable performance specs. You would find these legendary power plants in Toyota pickups, 4Runners, Celicas, and Corona models. First produced in 1982, The 22RE became the standard option on Toyota pickups and 4Runners in 1984. With Toyota continuing to offer the 22RE through 1995, the 2.4L inline-4 featured timing chains instead of belts, mechanical fuel systems fixable with basic tools, and cooling systems designed for Death Valley while towing mountains. Every component was designed assuming the nearest mechanic was 500 miles away, and the only available tools were rocks and pure determination. The 22RE is one of Toyota's 1 million mile engines, with these engines routinely hitting 400,000 plus miles and documented cases exceeding 1 million miles on original internals. There is a famous case of a 22R engine in an Alaskan delivery truck that accumulated over 1.2 million miles while operating in temperatures ranging from 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, never receiving a major rebuild. When humanitarian organizations needed vehicles that absolutely had to work in the world's most hostile conditions, they chose 22R-powered Toyotas without hesitation. Toyota lost money on every 22R because they refused to compromise on quality, creating mechanical immortality that still runs today. Final thoughts and community engagement. That is your countdown of 12 engines built for eternity. First off, massive thanks to all of you legends who stuck around till the very end. You are the real MVPs who truly appreciate automotive history and engineering excellence. Which one amazed you most? And here's what I really want to know. Do you have a personal story with any of these legendary engines? Maybe your family owned a Toyota 22R that just would not quit. Or perhaps you have driven a Mercedes OM 617 that is still running strong after 30 years. Drop your real-world experiences in the comments below. I read every single comment and love hearing your personal stories about these mechanical immortals. Share your engine reliability stories, whether it is about incredible mileage, surviving extreme conditions, or just plain refusing to die when it should have. Your experiences help prove why these engines earned their legendary status. If these stories of mechanical immortality change the way you look at the machines in your driveway, please subscribe and like the channel. We are uncovering the history of engineering that they tried to bury under planned obsolescence. Let's fuel the future together. The next mechanical treasure will be revealed soon.